Hello folks and welcome to today's vlog.
Hello folks and welcome to today's vlog.
Andy's over there. We're still in Nottingham, still in a hotel.
Andy.
Are you going to repeat everything I say?
Yeah.
Splendid. I'll just hold up cue cards for him so that he can just do the vlog by himself. We're about to change hotels. We're going to have to be here for another night because we've got all sorts of stuff to sort, but unfortunately this hotel that we've been in tonight and that we were in for the 2 nights last week, the one with the tram outside, this one's fully booked for tonight, as are all the city centre Premier Inns apparently. So we're holding on until the end of checkout time. It's about 11:30 as I record this. We've got to be out of here by 12. We can check into our next hotel at 2. We do have some errands to run on the way though. We've got, for example, I hadn't done my clothes washing before we packed in an emergency yesterday, so I need to go and buy some pants and socks and a t-shirt, because the only other t-shirts I've got with me are my Pink Panther one and my Bootios one, and neither of them are really appropriate for the stuff that we've now got to do for today and tomorrow, because as eldest sibling a lot of this now falls to Anna before we head back home to Peterborough. So we've been on the phone to the hospital this morning and we're arranging to get the death certificate sorted for Anna's mum, which will hopefully be at some point today. They're going to try and get things going as quickly as possible because they understand that we live 50 miles away. So they're going to try and sort that this morning, and also sort us an appointment with the registrar so that we can get the death registered as well. Hopefully that'll all get done today. We then also, once we've got that sorted, need to make an appointment with a funeral director and start putting stuff in place for that. None of us have ever done anything like this before. None of us really know what we're doing, and a lot of it seems to be waiting around, which for as long as we're in a hotel room we can do, but now we've got that 2-hour gap where we don't have a hotel room. That seems like a good opportunity to get out there and grab Andy some more crisps, grab me some pants and an appropriate t-shirt, and
Oh, thank you.
I also need some more painkillers as well, because I've completely run out of painkillers for my back. So we've got a few bits to do to occupy the time. Andy's not particularly pleased that he's not going to get to go and do his normal Nottingham stuff. I think he does understand. He still doesn't really understand what's happened. We've tried to explain. You going to the toilet?
Yeah.
Shut the door then. We've tried to explain to him what death is, that Mama is dead. He just still doesn't understand. He's saying that we'll see her next weekend, or we'll see her soon, or we'll watch Simpsons with her soon. So we're probably going to try and swing by a bookshop as well and see if there's anything in there that can possibly help us with explaining this situation to him. If any of you have any resources that you can recommend to us, please let us know about them down in the comments. And we also need to come up with a plan for what to do about the funeral, because I don't think it's something Andy can cope with. Whenever we've had funerals in the past for people, I've tended to have to sit outside with Andy, which isn't really ideal for this one because I need to be in there to support Anna. So we're trying to get him into his respite at short notice, but we can't do that until we know the date of the funeral, and we can't arrange that until we've got the death certificate, and we can't do that if we're at home in Peterborough. So everything is waiting at the moment, waiting for this phone call from the hospital to say that we can go and collect the stuff we need to get the certificate, and then we can get the ball rolling and everything else. So that's why we think we need the extra night. We don't want to go home and come back. That'll end up costing us more money than just staying. We'll figure things out from there. Apologies that it's not going to be fun vlogs for a few days. If you're here for fun vlogs,
Andy, no.
come back soon.
Andy!
Andy's locked himself in the
Unlock
toilet.
it.
We probably need to sort this.
Thank you.
Well, after a morning of travelling around Nottingham doing various bits, buying me some appropriate t-shirts, and what else have we done? We bought sun cream, we got me some pain relief and boots, we filled the car up with petrol, I bought a British Bulldog wrestling figure. We're now at our hotel for tonight, which is actually a better location than one we had before, because it's right near the hospital, which is where we need to go to pick up the thing when we get the phone call. We don't have the trams here. We do have a car park on site though, which we didn't have at the other place. And Andy's equally as impressed with this one because we're opposite a church.
Where I used to sing at.
Yeah, and apparently Anna used to sing there. This is Anna's old stomping ground, and in actual fact, we've just realised as we've pulled in, that pub there, Anna's mum used to work there.
And outside of it.
That might be where we're eating our breakfast tomorrow, which Anna's now saying she's not going to go in there. So but I didn't realise that when I booked it. It was just, for some reason, all the hotels in Nottingham are booked for tonight. So apart from this one, Don't know what's going on in Nottingham tonight, but this is as close to the city centre as we could get. I kind of wish we'd been here all along, because it's a little bit cheaper and a better location. Obviously just didn't notice it before. But we're slightly early. We're going to try and see if we can get an early check-in and then sit in there and wait for the phone call. We can check in early. Lady on reception was lovely. They've cancelled the breakfast for us. We explained the circumstances. They were completely fine. We'll go and find a McDonald's or something in the morning. Don't think we necessarily need to be going into our old workplace this soon. This is why Andy likes hotels, I think. Some of you have mentioned this in the comments as well. We've now been in 4 different rooms in 2 different hotels in the last 7 days, and they've all looked exactly like this. It's exactly the same room, obviously as you'd expect from a national chain. Slightly different mirror style, but that's it. You alright?
Yeah.
Right, you're going to get yourself set up over there then, while we wait for the phone to ring. Well, that's been a busy afternoon of phone calls. We've got everything arranged for tomorrow. It's a good job we did book into the hotel for another night, because nothing's happening today by the looks of it. But we've booked in tomorrow to go and see her at the Chapel of Rest, to go to the council offices to register the death, and we've also got an appointment booked with a funeral director for tomorrow afternoon as well. What that means is tomorrow is now a completely packed day for us. So what we had told Andy was that we would sort that stuff this afternoon and we'd do his Nottingham stuff tomorrow. It's nearly 4 o'clock I think at this point. I've been on the phone for the best part of the last hour or so. But because we've now got a packed day tomorrow that does involve us going into the centre of Nottingham where all the stuff that he wants to do is, but we won't have time to do it. We're now going to have to head out now to go and have a ride on the tram, take him to see the clock that he wants to go and see, do his Nottingham things now, in the hope that that will then help him cooperate with us tomorrow. The other thing we've been doing is having a look on the National Autistic Society website for some help with bereavement and death and how you put that across to someone with autism. I've got a couple of books that look quite good that I've put on the wish list for now, while I decide between which ones that I want. But if anyone's got any recommendations for good resources, good books, if you let us know down in the comments, that would be much appreciated, because at the moment he doesn't understand what death is, and he's still talking about her as if he's going to see her again soon. And we need to find a way to explain it to him so he understands that she's not. The one thing we have learned is we mustn't describe it as like a long sleep, because that might make him afraid of sleep, so we're obviously not going to say that. One resource we looked at suggested we describe it similar to being broken, but
He understands broken.
Yeah, he understands broken, so I think we're going to try and go down that route, but I think some books would be helpful, so we might dive into Waterstones while we're out and about now and see if we can grab a book in there that might help us tonight.
Don't need it.
Maybe. This is hard. This is like properly hard. And if you're wondering why I've changed my shirt as well, yeah, the painkillers that I'm taking for my, I think it's a combination of the painkillers for my back and just the general pain for my back. I am sweating constantly. I've drunk like 3 litres of water today and only been to the toilet twice all day. Everything else has come out as sweat. No.
You are purple.
Yeah, everything else is coming out of me as sweat.
I'm a bit worried about
I'm purple apparently. I'm not taking ibuprofen, so my blood pressure medication should still be working, but I'm just really hot. I'm sat in front of a fan and I can feel myself sweating, so I'm just I've had 2 showers already today. I'm changing my shirt constantly, but we got in here at like 1:30 and I just smelt like I'd done 2 marathons in 3 days and not changed my socks the whole time. It was awful. So thankfully I have lots of shirts with me now, because Anna made me buy sensible black shirts for tomorrow, because I can't go to tomorrow wearing a Bootios shirt, which I guess is a fair shout.
Yes.
So I've got plain black t-shirts now, going full on minimalist.
What is it?
What is what?
Doctor.
Yeah, go to the...
Am I really purple?
Yeah, well,
We've made it to the park and ride. We're about to head back into town now. Walking. Goodness me, I'm out of breath from all the limping that I'm doing. It's disgraceful. But Andy's having a good time. Yeah, because the limping, it makes me sweat and it makes me out of breath. So I'm probably even more purple now than I was before. Changed my shirt again. And we've got to get this tram for like 4 or 5 stops to get into town. And then he wants to go and see a clock. I don't know what they're talking about when they say clock. He's not been to a clock before, but he's got it in his head that's where he wants to go. In addition to this clock, it seems we're also doing all the things that we weren't able to do last week. These lifts
Lower male.
were out of order last week, so he wants to do them now. I have a suspicion we're probably going to end up doing all the lifts.
There we go.
Which, again, like we talked about last week, it's a side to all of this illness and bereavement thing when it comes to being an autism family you don't even really consider. But for him, this is what we do when we come to Nottingham, so not doing this would be unthinkable and would make things even harder to handle. So we've made it to the clock that he wanted to come to. This is the clock. I still don't really know why he wanted to come here, because we've never brought him here, well, I've never brought him here before. He used to come here a long time ago, but for whatever reason he's decided today he wanted to come here and have a look at the clock. It is a pretty cool clock. Andy, do you like the clock? It smells? Okay, oh, we're filming each other. Fair enough.
Go for it, Andy. Come here.
Come on, stand with me.
Was that good? Should we go and have some dinner now? Back here again afterwards. In other news, while we were eating dinner, yesterday's video came out. If anyone ever tries to tell you like that you're not the best community anyone's ever built on the internet, they're a liar. Within 20 minutes of that video coming out, over 150 comments sending us condolences.
I know you look there.
It matters. It's helping. Thank you. This is our last lift, Andy. We're going all the way down to the car park. We did get him to agree to just the lifts in this shopping centre, not the other one, the tram to get here and then back to the car, and that clock. So we're going to be heading back to the hotel shortly. We need an early night. We were up super late last night. Our dinner didn't get delivered last night. I know we recorded that video about 11 o'clock. We got fish and chips delivered from Just Eat and it arrived at the hotel at midnight, so we were up proper late last night, so we need an early night ahead of the big day tomorrow. We still haven't worked out what to say to him, although on the way here in the car he did say that my heart's broken, so I think that message is getting through, but now he then doesn't understand why we've got to go to the hospital tomorrow. Still trying to figure out what to do. Here's a little quirk of modern language that I'm sure loads of you have already thought of, but it hadn't occurred to me until just now, and might explain why he's finding it so difficult to understand. He's just turned to Anna with his camera and said, "Camera almost died, time to charge." So he does know the word dead and died, and he knows when that happens, you just charge it back up again. Thanks, modern language. And that's that then. I have no idea how long this video has been today, or like I've said a couple of times over the last week or so, I have no idea if we're going to make a video tomorrow. Tomorrow actually seems like the least likely day where we're going to put a video out. I know a lot of you have said take as long as you need, take some time off, all that kind of thing. There's a couple of reasons why we're not doing that, or certainly not doing that on this channel. The main reason is it just gives us that little bit of normality at a time when everything else is completely on its head. For me, certainly, as a creature of habit, it's comforting to know that I've got to edit the vlog, and at 5 o'clock we're going to have a whole load of people say really nice things to us and make us feel better for a little while, and just that side of things is really, really awesome. But the other part of it is obviously making YouTube videos is my job. We're not so comfortable that we can take a week, 2 weeks off of work unpaid, which is effectively what it would be if we didn't make any videos at all. When people die, it's unusual and unlikely that people take a couple of weeks off unpaid leave, I think. I know it's not something anyone I think would expect me to do if I was still teaching. I mean, I'd be there, I'd have been there today probably, because you only get like 1-2 days off for compassionate leave, especially if it's not a blood relative. So obviously at the moment I can't be making videos on my gaming channel, so that's already put me from full-time to part-time. I can't really be streaming, so this side of things at least means that when we get 6 or 8 weeks down the line and I get paid based on what I've done this month, at least it'll be slightly more than it would be if we just didn't do any work at all for a week or 2 weeks or whatever it would be. So it's kind of partly got to feed my kids reasons, and partly I'd probably be making these videos this week if it wasn't my job and I wasn't getting paid for it and I didn't need the money, because for me it's just part of what I do every day now. I make a vlog. I've been doing it every day for over 1.5 years. I honestly don't know what I'd do this evening if I didn't have a vlog to edit. So I'm going to go and crack on with that now. It's still not even 8 o'clock I don't think, and we're all getting ready for bed because we're pretty tired. Andy's just in the bath, so I need to wrap things up quick before he runs past me naked to get into bed. So as with a lot of these similar toned videos recently, I can't do my normal outro, but as ever we'd appreciate a thumbs up on there, subscribing and all that stuff, and just thank you for bearing with us, and thank you very much for watching.